Do I have to forgive people who have hurt me? Have you been abused? Cheated on? Lied to? Rejected? Forgive and forget. Isn't that what most of us have been taught is the right thing to do? When someone says, "I'm sorry," what is the expected response? Something like, "That's okay," or "No worries." Is that what forgiveness is? What's the point of forgiving someone, anyway? Maybe you've been told it is just what you're supposed to do, or forgiving others is what nice people do to get along with others. You may have been taught the opposite: forgiving others is a sign of weakness. Let's dive into this a little bit deeper. What if forgiveness has nothing to do with the other person, but it is all about you? Can you imagine how this might work? Let's back up a minute and talk about what forgiveness is, and then maybe that will help us figure out why it is more about us and less about the person who hurt us. Forgiveness is letting go. Well, if that's true, what are we releasing? You might think we are releasing the other person. I say that would be up to them if they choose to take the release. In other words, we can only work on ourselves, inside of us, not the other person. So, we can release our resentment toward the person. We can let go of our shame, anger, and so on. In other words, we can choose to release any negative emotions we are hanging on to as a result of how we are thinking about our painful interaction with the other person. Is this letting them off the hook? It isn't our job to keep them on the hook in the first place. Holding a grudge takes a lot of energy, and often the other person doesn't even know you are carrying that grudge around until you let them know. Yet, you are carrying it all the time even when they aren't around or aware. Forgiveness is letting go of our thoughts about what another person has done, or what we think they have done to us. What we think creates how we feel. With all of this in mind, let's go back to our first question: is forgiveness about me or the other person? Since forgiveness is about letting go, and since we can only change what we think and feel and not anyone else, then forgiveness must be about us. It isn't about being a good or nice person, it is about choosing to feel better. It's about being free from the burden of carrying around those dark and heavy grudges. How do we forgive? Be patient with yourself. You may need to let go several times. Here are a few suggestions. You can imagine putting your grudge or your negative feelings in a box and closing the lid and putting it up on a shelf in a closet. This technique is especially good if you aren't quite ready to let go but would like to put it away. If you feel ready to let everything go, then imagine putting your unforgiveness in a helium balloon and watching it float away. For a more tangible exercise, you might try writing down, on paper, how you feel and all the things that this person did. Feel those dark feelings for maybe 20 minutes. Then take your writing and burn it or shred it. Then get up and get busy doing something you enjoy. Go for a walk, put some of your favorite music on, or bake some cookies. These ideas can help you understand that you truly do have control over your own emotions, and that being angry and hurt because of the behavior of another person is a form of giving them even more power over how you feel. Remember this: forgiving someone doesn't mean you have to be buddies again. Be smart. If someone has physically hurt you, it may not be a good idea to be around them again, even if you have forgiven them. Even if they are very sorry for hurting you. You deserve to be safe and surrounded by people who treat you with respect. If someone has cheated on you, be smart about going back or staying in that relationship. Forgiving them doesn't mean it didn't happen. It only means you are choosing not to cause yourself more emotional pain by carrying around a grudge or a bag full of negative thoughts and feelings. Forgiveness is not a code word for weakness or permission for another person to hurt you again. You can forgive someone and never even tell them that you have forgiven them. sometimes that's the best way to handle more dangerous offenses. Here's your takeaway. Forgiveness is for your benefit rather than for the other person's benefit. Forgiving someone is about taking your power as opposed to being a sign of weakness. If you decide to forgive someone, this is not automatic permission for them to hurt you again. Don't forgive someone out of obligation or because you think it will make you a nicer person. Only forgive when you are ready to let go. Forgiving others can take practice, so it's okay to let go again and again until you feel complete. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe and comment. See you next time on Spiritual Growth Academy.